Yo, what is good? Welcome back to the channel, man. If you're clicking on this video, I appreciate it. You're probably an OG viewer because I have not posted a video in quite a while. But I know you guys saw the title of the video. Brief little description on the gameplay before I get into the meat and potatoes. I was in a ranked tournament with my boys. This was the second round, I believe, in the tournament. I don't want to give too much away on like my final score, but just know I was cooking. I was cooking in this. So hopefully you guys do enjoy that background gameplay. Now into the main meat and potatoes, man. So I know you guys saw the title of this video. It'll be something along the lines of like, this is really good for the finals or something like that. And the reason why I want to make this video is because we got really good news for this game. They just released a really big patch, 1.5. If you want to look it up and see the changes for yourself, just Google, the finals 1.5 patch notes. I'll be going over most of them in this video today, but this patch is huge. It's really huge. It's got a lot of quality of life updates. It's got a lot of, balance changes and things like that. This shows that they listen to the players and that they care a lot about their game. There's a lot of, major AAA titles out there that you can tell that they just do not care about their game, or if they do, they really don't show it because there's issues that players have been complaining about for multiple seasons, multiple titles, and those changes have just yet to get made. So I'm really having high hopes for this game. So far off to a great start. I'm excited. I'm excited. So let's just get into the meat and potatoes here. I got the patch notes pulled up on the side. So let's start with the top. Okay. Abilities. So let's start off with the abilities, guys. The charge and slam for the heavy class. That is an ability that the heavy charges forward, and I think it does like 180 damage to you or something like that. But apparently, this hadn't happened to me, by the way. But apparently, there was an issue where players could like grab a cash out and stand still, and then click their ability to do their charge slam, and then it would actually deal damage to players. So people were getting killed in like cheesy ways from that. So that's a pretty cool little. I don't know if it's a bug fix or just a functionality change to the ability, whatever you want to call it, but that's pretty cool. This is also pretty interesting. The cloaking device. So it appears they nerfed the cloaking device for the light class, which is interesting because a lot of people in this game that play, especially like the ranked players and whatnot, the higher level ranked players, even the lower ranked players, there's a pretty general consensus that the light class is a bit underpowered at the moment. So interesting to see a nerf. But they nerfed the cloaking device. They increased the activation cost from 1 second to 2 seconds. So I guess you need 2 seconds worth of charge rather than 1 to actually activate it in the first place. And then they increased the minimum required charge time to activate from 1.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. So actually, okay, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. So basically you need 2.5 seconds worth of charge time to actually activate it in the first place. And then it actually costs you 2 seconds to activate it. I believe that's how that works. So basically, you're gonna be able to use it slightly less often than you can now. Is what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like a huge nerf, but definitely a little bit of a nerf to the invisibility there. Me personally, how do I feel about it? I do think the light invisibility was very, very strong. One of the strongest abilities in the game. So I'm not that surprised that I got nerfed, I guess. But I do think that it's kind of something that the light class needs. They're a bit of a glass cannon, so. I don't feel too strongly about it either way, but not surprised by it, I guess you could say. The grapple hook will no longer attach to objects that are attached to carryables. Okay, so I think people were using their grappling hook to attach to like throwable objects and things of that nature to fly across the map really fast. They didn't want people doing that, so that's a cool little, functionality change, I guess you could say. The Guardian turret will now shoot target dummies in the practice range. Okay, so now you can test out your Guardian turrets in the practice range. Cool little quality of life update there. The mesh shield decreased health from 1100 to 1000. Oh, okay. So the mesh shield is one of the heavy strongest abilities in my opinion. It's very, very strong, but I don't think decreasing the health of it from 1100 to 1000 is going to really change anything major. I know from my perspective, while playing ranked, most of the time when me and my teammates see a heavy put up their mesh shield, one of two things will happen. Either our heavy will put up a mesh shield and we'll just have like a little battle there, or basically when we see that mesh shield, it has so much health that we don't try to shoot through it. Because usually if the teams know what they're doing, they'll have a heavy with the mesh shield up and then a medium standing behind the heavy, and they'll just beam you. And you can't hit them back, obviously, because the heavy's blocking all the damage. So I don't think this is gonna make people go, oh, let's just melt the heavy shield real quick. I don't see that happening. So I don't really think if you're heavy and you're worried about your shield getting nerfed, I don't really think it's gonna do too much. Recon senses. Okay, so increased activation cost from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. And okay, so that's a bit of a nerf there. Decreased minimum charge time to activate from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Okay, so it got nerfed and buffed. Okay, so it takes more to activate it, but you need less charge to actually activate it in the first place. So I don't really think that's going to change much, honestly. A lot of people think this ability needs reworked because it's so strong. This is definitely not a rework, so interesting to see what they do with it in the future. Ooh, this is the big one, boys. This is the one that everybody I can agree on, or at least like 99% of the player base wanted changed, and that is the C4 barrel strategy. So C4 player damage decreased from 210 to 155. That is massive. And then player minimum damage decreased from 120 to 100. So now, if it touches you, the minimum damage that it could do is even lower. So that is huge. I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that, man. I know from my perspective, there's been so many times I'm defending a cash out, everything's going well. I see a heavy for a split second, try to get behind cover, and then boom. Me and my teammate that were standing next to me are just dead. That fight's ruined. We lose the game a lot of the times because of that. Really frustrating. And it felt like there was not a whole lot of counterplay. So that is huge. I'm extremely excited about that. Let's see. Gas mine cooldown increased from 25 seconds to 27 seconds. So they nerfed the gas mines. I guess they want you to be able to spam them a little bit less. 2-second cooldown increase. I don't think that's going to do much. Let's be honest here. They decreased the cooldown from 20 seconds to 18 seconds for the flashbang. So a little bit of a flashbang buff there. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of people use flashbangs. I hardly ever see them. So I guess that's cool to see them trying to add some more diversity to the gadget meta. No complaints there. Incendiary mine cooldown decreased from 30 seconds to 27 seconds. So they also buffed the incendiary mines. I also do not see very incendiary mines used. So cool. RPG player damage decreased from 150 to 140. Now that does not sound significant, but for those of you that know the actual health values and stuff like that each class has, lights have 150 health. So previously, before this, they would get one-shot RPGs potentially. Now they will not get one-shot RPGs, and they'll be on 1 health. That's huge because if you're a light and even if you're on 1 HP, you have the most mobility and evasiveness in the game. So a lot of times you'll be able to get out from getting hit by the RPG, go invisible, dash away, whatever you need to do, and then get back into the fight later on. So that is actually huge. Now this is, okay. Now, so lights just got an indirect buff, but here's another direct nerf to lights. The stun gun decreased duration of stun effect from 5 seconds to 3.75 seconds. So that's actually pretty significant. I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty huge nerf to the stun gun. Ooh. And that's pretty much the main gadget I would say that most competitive players use with the light class. So interesting to see how effective. I think the stun gun will still be effective, but you're definitely going to have to use it more effectively now. You basically have 25% less time of your enemy being stunned, so that's pretty huge. Tracking darts got a bit of a buff. They decreased the cooldown by 2 seconds, and they added a new scope zoom sensitivity multiplier that affects the tracking dart, so I guess it'll make it easier for you to hit your shots with it, I guess. I've never even used that ability, and I don't see people use it, so not too much to say personally. So now we're on the game mode changes. The game show event start time reduced from minute 6 to minute 4. So I guess they're kind of trying to speed up the pace of the games a little bit. They also did the same thing in Quick Cache, and then they also increased the team wipe respawn time from 17 to 18 seconds. They also increased the team respawn time in ranked by a second, and then they also did the same in non-ranked tournaments. Tournaments will now unlock after players have completed 1 round, reduced from 12. So, wow, they made it way easier to unlock tournaments. So that is cool because, I mean, why not just make it easier for your players to unlock more game modes? Woo, another C4 nerf. Okay, so deployable explosives such as C4, breach charges, and explosive mines will now add mass to throwable objects, causing them to travel less far when thrown. I saw a clip of someone doing this on TikTok to test it, and I'm not going to lie, the barrels do not go nearly as far with C4. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure the C4 barrel strat is pretty much gone. You can attach them to, like, C4s around objectives, or you can attach the C4 to barrels and stuff like that around objectives and try to catch people slipping that way. But getting nuked from across the map is not going to happen anymore. So that's very, very cool. Now, weapon changes. There's a lot, so I'm going to kind of go through these rather quickly here. The flamethrower damage was increased from 28 to 30, so they buffed the flamethrower. The LH1 damage was increased from 47 to 49, so they buffed the LMG for the heavy, I believe that no one uses. Cool. The M11 recoil pattern updated to make the weapon easier to control, so they buffed one of the lights SMGs. Most people use the MP5, so no complaints from me there. They nerfed the auto shotgun from 12 damage per pellet to 10 damage per pellet. From what my teammate told me the other day when we were playing, he said the shotgun still feels really strong, which doesn't surprise me, but it definitely will be a little less powerful. M60 damage increased from 21 to 22, so another buff to, I don't even know what weapon that is. I'll have to come back to that, but for those of you that like the M60, cool, it got buffed. They updated attack animations on the riot shield and make it feel more responsive. Okay. The SA1216 got a bug fix, so apparently people were figuring out how to fire it faster than it was intended, so they fixed that. They added zoom sensitivity multiplier to the settings for the SR84 sniper rifle, so that's cool for snipers. They have more accessibility. Throwing knives, they added a projectile to make it easier to see where your throwing knives actually go, so that's sweet. For people that like to use the throwing knives, you'll be able to correct your future throws based off of your last throws more easily. And then they updated the damage from the V9S from 35 to 36. So another light class weapon buff. So that is sweet. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there's any more major, changes. I don't really see any more major ones, honestly. They also did add a lot of stuff to the shop, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I pretty much covered all the major stuff. So if you guys did like the video, make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.